welcome once again to Caleb Blake's Books. Today I have another review for you, and that is for Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Last Olympian by Riordan. This is the fifth and final book in the Percy Jackson series, at least the original set of books. There have been a couple of sequels released recently, actually, but of the original five, this is the last one. So I've been reading through this series for a little bit now. I think since around last fall or something like that is when I started it, maybe summer, I can't remember exactly. But sometime in the second half of last year anyway. And I've been enjoying it a decent amount. I've read one of these books every couple months. And so I'm finally at the last one. And it's been a pretty enjoyable series so far, and I do intend to do a full series video here in a little bit also, so you can keep an eye out for that if you'd like. But in this video, I'll just be talking about the final book. So going into this, I had enjoyed the previous books, but the last book, which was The Battle of the Labyrinth, I think, I was not quite as into. You know, it was fine, but didn't really do a huge amount for me. And so I went into this hoping that it would stick the landing, but this series kind of, for me, was starting to feel kind of samey and things like that, and so I wasn't super excited for it, but I was looking forward to finishing the series. This one actually impressed me a decent amount. I think this may be my favorite book in the series so far, or I guess in general, because it's the last one. Yeah, I really enjoyed it a lot, actually, a lot more than I expected to. So as far as some good things to talk about with this book, which is pretty much everything I have to say about it, I don't really have any negative points to point out with this book. First of all, the things that were done well in the other books are still done well here. I really enjoy the characters in this series quite a bit. I enjoy their interactions a lot. I'll talk more about that here in a minute. I also really enjoy just the narrative voice of this series and this book also, which has been consistently done well across the whole series. You get told the book through Percy Jackson's perspective in first person, and he's just a fun perspective to read from, and I really enjoy that a lot about this, and this book included. But as far as character stuff, I really enjoyed, one of the other things I really appreciate about this book, especially with it being the last one in the series, is how like full circle it comes, like how cohesive it is with the rest of the series. All the characters from previous books, you know, come back or are referenced in this one. Certain story events and certain story pieces that were in past books but didn't really have much of a follow-through are followed through in this book. This book is just a very good conclusion. It wraps things up in the series very well. You know, it brings in old stuff in a way that feels very satisfying and cohesive, and all that stuff. It's just a very satisfying conclusion to the series, which is the main big thing that I liked about this book, is that it just came together very nicely. And as far as being a finale to the series, I think it works very well also. It's big and bombastic. You know, the whole series has been leading up to Percy, you know, doing his whole big hero thing against the god Kronos, who is going to be trying to take over, basically. And so a lot of this book is that. Like, I'm pretty sure the whole second half of this book is just battle. Like this big epic battle of the gods and all these kinds of things, and it's just really well done. It's very climactic, feels very big, and very much like a big conclusion to the series, which I really enjoyed. And the action itself I thought was really interesting too. I really enjoyed a lot of the action in this book. I enjoyed the action in the past books as well, but I think this one was just really engaging because it just kind of like stuff was constantly happening towards the end of this book, and I think it was really entertaining. And also, as far as this, another kind of point about this being a conclusion, surprising amount of emotional weight to it, I think. This series is not one that I would say has super pulled me in on an emotional level. Like, it's been a series that I've enjoyed, but this had a surprising amount of emotion to it for the ending. I think there was some moments in here that really kind of got to me, which I appreciated for sure. Even throughout the entire book, not even just the ending of the book, just the entire book had some really great emotional moments to it that really made me feel for the characters and things like that, which I really appreciated. And there's just a lot of really good stuff in here. Like, this is a book that I think I enjoyed from beginning to end, and just had a lot of interesting stuff. It felt very dark compared to the other ones, of course, it being the last book in the series and where things really kind of happen. It kind of starts right off like dark right from the beginning, which I also really enjoyed, and it just kind of kept that tone and kept like that intensity all the way through, which I really enjoyed. And just overall, it was, I think, just a very well done book and a very well done conclusion to this series. Just had a really good tone to it. Just a lot of interesting stuff was going on, a lot of exciting stuff, some cool twists and turns in the story, which I enjoyed. A lot of good character moments. The character interactions were all good. Like I said, all the different characters come into play here, and I really enjoyed seeing them all together and talking to each other and interacting with one another and doing all the stuff together and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of good stuff in this book overall, and a very, very solid conclusion to the series. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I feel like this is going to be a pretty short review because I don't have a lot to say about this book because everything was pretty good. And a lot of my thoughts are basically just, it was a really good conclusion, very interesting, very exciting, very engaging all the way through, and I just had a great time with it. And I think this is definitely my favorite book in the series. I would say probably, I would say this is probably first, and then the second book, maybe it would take second place. It's either 2 or 3, I can't remember which, but I really enjoyed this one a lot either way, and it is probably my favorite in the series. Just a very solid conclusion that I really enjoyed. As far as a rating out of 10, that I would give The Last Olympian, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Really enjoyed it a lot. Great conclusion, just brought everything together really well. It was a really great book. Definitely, I think I could not have asked for a better conclusion to this series, especially considering that up to this point, for the last book or two, I kind of felt like things were getting kind of stale, kind of samey. You know, I was enjoying reading them, but it wasn't really getting me excited anymore. Whereas this book kind of made me do a 180 a little bit, and I was really into this book, and I enjoyed it a whole lot. Had a great time with it. So that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you have read The Last Olympian and the rest of the Percy Jackson series and what you thought of it. As I said earlier, I will probably be doing a full series video here soon where I'll talk about all 5 books and my thoughts on the series cohesively all together. So be looking forward to that. And I will probably be checking out some more of the, not necessarily Percy Jackson, although there are a couple more books that are coming out. But I'll probably be checking out more of the stuff in this setting. I know there's several different series, so I'll probably be checking some more of those out in the future, maybe. Who knows? But I might like to do that. So that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.